Not hearing you. Hello, hello, greetings, everyone. What a great evening. Happy Sunday to all of you. And if you're whichever country you're viewing from, because the time zones are always different. But happy day to you. It's a great evening today because the topic that we're talking about tonight is empowering her. But before we start off, how are you guys are doing? You're doing great because this time of year, as we spoke about the topic that we had a couple of weeks ago, we're in the second quarter. You're looking at your goals, you're looking at your dreams, and you're looking to see, well, where am I at this junction and how am I coping and my setbacks, my rejection, my fears, and how you're handling all of that. And so that you can really live life and not, as we like to say on this show, not basically surviving, but thriving. And what stands between surviving and thriving, there is where the work has got to be done. What steps are you taking so that you can able to thrive and live the best version of yourself? What are you choosing that is not choosing you? Are you practicing self-care? Are you choosing the right kind of food that's going to nourish and nurture you? What are you listening to? Yes. What are you listening to? Because all those things reflective of who you are. Take time to focus on your morning routine, your nightly routine, so that you can fortify yourself. Are you pausing? Are you focusing on your spirituality, whatever that may be for you? But it's God, whatever is it for you. Because whatever it is it for you that keeps you grounded, that keeps you strong, that keeps you centered, that keeps you balanced. Because every day as we enter corporate world, whatever job that you might be doing, or even in your home environment, there are challenges, the things that you may encounter that you never expected might have happened. How are you coping? Are you stepping outside and walking into nature so that you can draw from nature some great inspiration? Are you leaning into your inner wisdom? How is the environment? Does every area of your home represent what it's supposed to be? Your kitchen, your bedroom, your dining room. Does every room represent what it's supposed to be? It's time. If it doesn't, today is a chance for you to look around and say, no, you know what, I got some work to get done. And then when you focus on the inward side of your environment, are you holding on to unforgiveness? Are you able to let things go? Because when there's an art of there is an art of letting go. Because in order for us to move forward and to receive all the greatness that life has to offer us, we got to let go of some things so that we can move light and able to receive all the goodness that the universe has got for us. Are you celebrating your wins, big or small? Are you focusing on gratitude? Because gratitude is a tool. Are you reminding yourself who you are? You're special, you are amazing, you're unique. How are you handling failures, rejection? Are you able to use that as a redirection to pull you closer to your purpose? So tonight, we got an amazing guest here with us who is truly, truly special. And what she's going to be doing for us, Rosie is going to be doing for us, she's going to expand our toolbox and our toolkit. She's going to pour on us tonight, or whatever time zone you're looking at. Catching us live, you're going to catch us on the replay. Rosie's going to pour on us tonight because she's got a wealth and the richness of her career serving the military from 1997 through to 2001 and have got her so much experience. She's going to teach us how to move through challenges, setbacks, rejection, and still come back and be strong and grounded. Because as we always like to say, it's not the rise, it's not the fall, it's the rise that follow after. How you get back up, how do you stay strong, and let your purpose pull yourself to your purpose. How do you do that? And the topic tonight is empowering her, because in order for us to move through life, you must feel empowered. You must feel strong. How are you showing up in rooms when you enter? What level of energy flows through the conversation when you exchange, whether one on one, via over the phone, or in a group setting? How do you make people feel? Those things are very important. So sit back, relax, whether you're having a cup of tea or you're having a cool drink. Find a comfortable space that you can able to receive what is being served here tonight in this space. We want to thank everyone who have subscribed to our channel. Thank you for all the comments and the notes that you send us. We were so grateful that we were able to we were able to have a great opportunity where we met Rosiey at the veteran luncheon. And thanks to everyone who enjoyed this. We had a great time. It is so beautiful when you get in the space of like-minded people that's who can pour on you. You feel motivated, you feel inspired, you draw a level of wisdom. The energy was right, the frequency was good, the vibration was great. So sit back, relax, and take some notes. It's always good to do that because we always believe in writing up your journal, writing your notes because it serves us. They do at some point in time would come a moment that you may say, I remember listening to that podcast. That is why it's good that you're signing up to a YouTube channel because if you don't have your notes, you can always subscribe and you can always go on our channel and there's something for everyone that you can draw, you can get inspired, you can have wisdom. Karen is having a little technical difficulties tonight, but she will jump right in sooner than later. And our guest tonight, as I said in the intro, Rosiey, we are so honored to have you here tonight with us. My name is Lady J, holistic health and wellness coach, and among so many other things, speaker, author, and all the great things that we, Karen and myself, do to serve. So, Rosiey, welcome to the show. It's such a true honor. Thanks for your time, for sharing space with us. Thanks for saying yes, because we know that we are in for a treat. We know you're going to serve us. You're a woman who serves, but not only that, you're going to serve us well by dropping a lot of gems for us tonight and inspire us and even also help us to move to a level of transformation because your story, your journey that you continue to travel on in life, your path is going to inspire us all tonight because we're here to learn, we're here to listen, and we're here to observe and gather all the tips and the tools that you're going to share with us tonight. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Lady J and Lady A, and everyone in the audience. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys tonight. It's an honor for me to connect with sisters like you that are so amazing. Your aura, your faith, your light reflects in you. Everywhere that you go, that's what you project. And it's just a blessing that God brought us together. And we have so many similarities. When we met at that women veteran luncheon, we had so many similarities. Empowering her with you all, and I'm doing events called Empower Her. How we had similarities with the lotus flower, how we're women trying to embrace and empower other women, not only military, but just us females in general. We need that in this time. We need that in this world. We're at a in some dark times, but people like you light the path for us that are still in darkness. And I am so happy to have been invited to your podcast. And I'm so thankful that you're my sisters. I'm so thankful how you embraced me. And I just want you to know that I'm here for you all. Whenever you need me, I'm here 100%. Thank you so very much. And thank you, everyone, for listening. It's a
Thank,
pleasure to be here tonight.
thank you, thank you, thank you. And we want to thank you and all the amazing women who serve our country and what you are doing as you are a veterans coordinator for the New York State Department of Veterans, DVS service. You're a proud New Yorker,
Yes, born and raised in New York.
born and raised in New York.
Yes, to Dominican parents. I'm also Dominican. I'm a Latina. Most multifaceted. So I'm a woman. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a colored woman. I am Latin, Hispanic, and it's just like it just shows like the multitudes that we all have. That we can't just categorize us all in just one category. We're multifaceted. We're like an onion with many layers.
Right, right, right.
Um,
Isn't that amazing? When you
yes,
can
it is.
embrace all of that and embody all of that. So I mean, you come in with such a level of power. So we can imagine. I mean, we had the experience when you walk into the room. You know, the energy shift. We feel that power in that moment. You know, that's why we connect so beautifully. And for a woman, and you have enlisted in 1997 and honorably served through to 2001, hold a bachelor of administration. Talk to us about that. What made you got enlisted? What made you talk? Share with the audience your journey, where it started from.
Okay. Well, I'm born and raised in New York. Um, times are tough, especially growing up in the 90s, where there's a lot of stuff going on and being raised in the Bronx. Didn't have a perfect household, Caribbean parents, divorced by the time I was 12 years old. Very strict mother, very, very strict mother. I would have to take night school, day school, summer school, every type of schooling I could do and activities just to get out the house. Like I am a free spirit, but my
Yeah,
mother always was so strict. And I understand now that she had her reasons, but at
yeah,
that age, you don't know any better. You just want to conquer the world. I was always inquisitive. So life made me join the military. At 15, I was already on my own, living with family members until I graduated from high school at 17. Moved out the state of New York and moved to Pennsylvania because I always knew that there was more in life than just New York State. There's more than the United States. There's other countries, there's other continents, and I always wanted to see and learn more. So at 17 years old, I couldn't support myself. So I was like, you know what? 18 years old, I was like, this is not for me. College is not for me. There's more out there for me. So I decided to enlist in the military. A good friend of mine was like, I'm going in the Navy. I told her I don't know how to swim, so I'm not going to the Navy. And so I was like, the Marines is not for me. It's not calling me. Air Force would have been my first pick, but they were always out to lunch. Those are my type of people. I love to eat. So I was like, well, maybe I'm gonna try the Air Force. 3 months came around, and I was like, well, I guess it's the Army. That's the only doors that I see that are open for me right now. Um, I prepared for an ASVAB exam to go into the military in '97. Left New York, went to Pennsylvania. From Pennsylvania, went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Never been down south. The farthest I had been from New York State was New Jersey and Pennsylvania. That's about it. And it was empowering but scary at the same time to be 18 years old away from what you're used to, from your environment, from your habitat, to go to a new state with new people. It When you leave New York State and you go down south, especially in the 90s, it's like culture shock. When you see the south compared to the north, and people would say, "You have an accent. You have an accent. Where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm a New Yorker." They're like, "Yeah, but there's something else in you. We hear that little spice in you." I was like, "Oh, I'm Dominican. I'm Dominicana." So it was great to go to basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I did basic training. I loved it. I really, really loved the experience for basic training, even though they teach you in basic training to not think anymore like a civilian and become that soldier, become that service member. So a lot of folks think that, oh, they yell at you and they're in your face, they're trying to break you, but it's like tough love to the a little bit to the extremes. But they have to do these things to instill in you the discipline that you will need to make life altering choices, decisions when you're out in a war zone, when you're out on a mission. So in the beginning, a lot of service members don't understand why they have to do these things, but later on, you will discover them. So it is a blessing because with those skills that you're taught, you use them in your civilian life when you become a civilian again. You use it in your personal life, the discipline, what they teach you, um, camaraderie. You have brothers and sisters that support you. No man will be left behind. They teach you these things. So that way you become one. There's no I in team, it's always a we. So my experience in the military wasn't all that easy. I had to learn, I had to keep up with the men as a woman. Not, it sounds weird saying as a woman because at 19, 18 years old, you don't consider yourself a woman. You're a kid
Right.
and you're making decisions to support this nation. You're taught how to use a weapon. I have never even seen a weapon until I joined the military. That's a another stressful um, time frame because here you are, 18. You can't go out to the club. You can't go party, but yet I could shoot a rifle. Yet I could go off to war. I could unalive someone if I had to. I can throw a grenade and cause detrimental damage to someone else. So that's a lot for a young person to grasp when
Right.
you go into the military. And it takes 8 weeks, 12 weeks for you to become a soldier. But a lot of people don't know that when you leave the military, you don't get the training to learn how to become a civilian again. My time in the military learning my trade and my job was great. I learned new skills. I was at an administrative office manager. I had a secret clearance. There's a level 1 through 4, but since I wasn't an officer, I was enlisted. I had a level 3, which was really high for my rank. I was in a communications battalion. We call it Signal. It's like the AT&T of the fort where you're at. So I was cross trained. I learned how to put cables and wires together to connect phone lines from one area to the next. I also learned how to do high speed mugsat, Oracle, Intel, which makes me multifaceted, which is great for when I left the military. So there's a lot of benefits, but yet there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears while you're in the military. Um, when you're in the service, you're taught punctuality as well. If you're on time, that means that you're late. So if you guys say 7 o'clock, 6:45, we're already there, ready to rock and roll. That has been instilled in us. Um, Dealing with people and rank, different ethnic groups, males, is difficult for a female in the military. It makes it even more difficult at times, depending your rank. So if you're a woman, you're a brown woman, you're enlisted, you don't have high rank, you already have three setbacks already holding you back. So you have to try to overcome these things. And the way I did it was through prayer. I still have my Bible from basic training that I would keep in my pocket. And whenever I needed to pass the shooting range, the grenade range, any type of exam I had, I was like, Lord, I'm leaving this in your hands. Lord, this is not me that's taking this exam. This is you. You're taking this exam for me. So I've always been very spiritual. I can't say religious, but I would say because I love to church hop or religion hop. I call it that because I love to visit many different denominations, except for the people that celebrate the man downstairs. If you celebrate the man upstairs, I'm all for it. So my faith in God has helped me and molded me to the person I am today. I learned that you must stick up for yourself, even if it's other people that are higher ranking, even if it's people from other cultures, other races than yourself. And it's it was difficult. Um, the discipline, that part, it's a good, it's a blessing and it's a curse at the same time because it teaches you how to restrain yourself from certain situations that you're in the military. Um, it's I try to see the positive in everything, but the military will either make you or break you. And if you don't seek God or higher faith, it's difficult for you to keep going. Um, I got married young in the military, 19, 20 years old, didn't know any better. So young, married young. 21, I was already a mom and already divorced and still in the military. It's it was pretty difficult, I would say, to be a single mom at 21, still in the military and having to deal with a new child. But the support system that we have as women in the military is not that great. It's it's to the point where you have to do your research on what's my next steps, who do I have to help me, what must I do to help myself. Um, a lot of people in the civilian sector think that it's easy being in the military, but it's not. Um, it's the same as the civilian sector in the jobs that we must do, but at the end of the day, we have to support and protect our nation. You know what's that being 20 years old and getting alarms at 2 o'clock in the morning where you have to report to the base to fly off to war because Saddam Hussein was attacking, or situations where we would have to leave our home or our children, our families to come and support the nation. At that age, we're not prepared. I'll be very honest with everyone. At that age, no, I think that we're still children. Even up to the age of 21, we're still kids. And that's a big responsibility that's put on our shoulders for a lot of service members to deploy. I was fortunate to leave before September 11 happened. In the military, you go through things, you learn a lot. You really do. But the benefits are shown when you leave the military. The VA is amazing. Um, with my job in the military, I was able to meet with generals, officers, show them and teach them what we're doing at a signal battalion, like the AT&T. I was able to teach them what we did, show them, give them tours, take soldiers to air assault school. Air assault school is when you rappel from a helicopter on a rope. Airborne is when you jump out of airplanes with a parachute. That's the difference. So where I was at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, we did air assault. Um, when I left the military, I left broken, but with my head up high and my faith with me and my daughter. Um, the process to leave the military, it felt freeing, but also it was scary because you go from serving 4 years in the military, right? And they give you the structure. You wake up at a certain time for PT. You report to work at a certain time. You have a superior telling you what you have to do, what your next steps are, and when it's time to go home, right? When you leave the military, we don't have that anymore. And that could be difficult for people, for service members that leave the military, because you don't have, if you were enlisted like myself, you don't have someone telling you what to do. But other people that are in the military have different experiences when they leave. For instance, if you're an officer, right, that you're used to giving orders or talking to people a certain type of way when you're in the military. When you comes to civilian sector, you have to read how to speak to people because you can't give people orders. You can't speak to them in that tone. So everyone has their own experience when they're leaving the military. I was fortunate to have learned so many skills in the military that I was able to transfer that to the civilian sector. I was like, I want to go back to school, um, because all the ailments that and injuries I succumbed in the military, it's like all the exercises that we do, it's like we're cars. Our bodies depreciate after so many years of pushing yourself to the limit, PT test, running, 100-pound female, 5'4", carrying a 50-pound rucksack, a rifle, a gas mask, ammunition, a Kevlar is the helmet, um, doing 12-mile road marches in less than 3 hours with all that equipment on you. Yes. Um, 24-hour shifts. Even if you're pregnant, they don't care. You have to do those 24-hour shifts. Yes. Um, so it's difficult. It makes you stronger in the long run, but when you're in it, it's a lot. It's a lot on you. It's a lot on you mentally, but you can't let them break you. And that's where you have to have faith to keep going. Because if not, you're going to fall into a hole and you won't be able to get out.
Mhm.
When I left the military, I went to school. I got my bachelor's degree in business management administration. And I wanted to be a corporate attorney. I did all these things, but it wasn't touching my heart. Oh, then I thought, let me be a cardiovascular sonographer because I'm interested about the heart. And I did that, and I didn't feel my purpose. Like something was missing. Like I was like, this is not it. I was like, let me do cosmetology like my mother, maybe with the business side of my business degree. I'll be able to manage the salon. Did that, and still something was missing. It wasn't like my passion. I felt empty. Like I'm doing this, and it wasn't a career. It was just a job, right? And then I was trying to work on my claim, a compensation claim. If you don't know, it's when you're in the military and you get hurt, when you report to the Veterans Administration, you get compensated for your injuries that you succumb to while you're in the military. So when I was doing that process, other veterans would ask me questions. Oh, how did you do this? I've been trying to do this for 20 years. And I was like, you know what? I like this. I like helping my other veterans. I don't want my veterans or my brothers and sisters who served before me or after me or at the same time as myself to be going through obstacles. I don't want them to have to go through the same obstacles that I went through. So if I could avoid you going through that, then I'm going to lead you because that's who I am and that's what we're supposed to do for one another. Even if you're not in the military, we're supposed to help one another. It's in our 10 commandments. Like, so I felt that helping others made my heart feel good. It made me it like brightened me up that I helped someone, and just for the a simple thank you was more than enough. Like I knew that I helped someone, I was happy. So in 2015, I started working with the New York State Department of Labor as a disabled veterans program specialist. There I would help veterans with their unemployment. I would help them with trainings. I would help them secure employment. I would help them with their resumes, interviewing skills. And I've been so blessed that God made me an empath. So I could feel certain things and say certain things without even knowing that I'm saying them.
Right, right.
So I would tell people certain things and they'll be like, how do you know this? I'm like, just listen to the message that God's giving you. And I will never forget, I had one female veteran that told me, Rosie, stop talking to me. And I'm like, why? And she's like, because you're ruining my high. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, I haven't been 100% honest with you. And I'm like, talk to me. I'm here for you. This is a safe space, no judgment. She was like, I'm going through it. I was in the Navy, and she told me that she was a cook, right? And her shipmates, all of them, the cooks, raped her. I did not know what to say or do. And it's like, I'm empathetic. I want to sympathize, but I don't want her to feel bad because of what she's already feeling bad. So I had to think fast and just let her talk and just hold her hand. I'm here for her. And that opened my eyes because I never knew when I was in the service that these things happened. I thought that everyone that was in the military did the right thing. And when you got out, everyone had an honorable discharge. That was the naive me. I didn't know there was other than honorable. I didn't know that there was dishonorable discharges. I didn't know that women got raped. I didn't know that men in the Navy were sodomized. I did not know any of these things until I left the military and started helping other people that served. So I also said, we need to get you help. We need to get you a CASAC manager. We need to get you drug and alcohol counseling. We need to get you registered in the VA hospital. Are you service connected? Do we get you compensated? Like my brain just started like thinking about the next steps, but it wasn't me because I never knew these things. I didn't know what you had to do. And it's just like God was like, girl, this is what we're gonna do. Like when people say Jesus take the wheel, well, Jesus took the wheel. And he let me know what I needed to do to help her. And from that day forward, every time I see her at one of the VA hospitals, she was like, thank you for all that you did for me.
Yeah.
I'm now clean. I have my own home. I'm no longer doing drugs. She went back to school, and that right there is what keeps me going,
Mm-hmm.
to enlighten, to uplift, and not judge, and lend a helping hand. Um, so when I stood in the Department of Labor for 8 years, then I took a little hiatus. I went to Florida to learn another same job, but another state. And then I was like, something's missing. I had to come back home for other opportunities. And that's when I started with New York State Department of Veteran Services, where I'm able to do more for veterans, help them with their claims, help them with burials, help their spouses, help their widows, help their children. It's so impactful where you could help people that are on the verge of homelessness, where you could help a widow whose spouse passed away and they were their main source of income, helping Vietnam War veterans get the acknowledgement and the services that they're entitled to, but because the civilian sector ostracized them when they came back home, they were so negative to coming to the VA. They were so negative to accepting the help that they needed. And just holding someone's hand and saying, look, I'm here for you. Let me help you is what's empowered me. It hasn't been easy, but it's been so enlightening. It's humbled me. It's it's helped me be a better person. It's even beneficial to me and even my family, like my kids. For me, going through the things I went through in the military, at least I took that negative and turned it to a positive outcome that my kids all have gone to college. Out of my seven babies, the four, the five that can go to college, all five are in college right now. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. God is
Wow.
so good. God is so good. And they're having the benefits that I didn't have. But
Mm-hmm.
it just makes me feel amazing as a mom to see my kids become better than me,
Mm-hmm.
learn, not make the same mistakes that I did, and guide them in the right path, and to help other women like ourselves that we empower each other, give each other knowledge, support one another. It's so amazing because us women, we need to learn to just say hello. Like, I'm a type of person, if I see someone, even if I don't know you, I'll be like, wow, that lipstick looks good on you. Oh, girl, you looking fly. We need to build each other up because society has been so tough and hard on us, especially as Black women, that people think that we have a chip on our shoulder, but it's like everything that we've been through in life makes us hard, makes us, it's like we're carrying this weight on our invisible weight on our shoulders that we just carry it so long that we don't mean to be mean, even though our face may look that way. It's just that we're tired. We're holding on to so much that it reflects in our demeanor, but it doesn't mean that our hearts are that way. um it's amazing to just say something nice to someone, be like, hey, that shade of blue looks so good on you. Keep it up, girl, my sister. You look amazing. You don't know how that one comment
Right.
can brighten someone's day. Like, I had one female tell me, wow, I'm going through it. Thank you for saying that to me. And I'm like, why? Why are you saying that? She was like, I was thinking about unaliving myself. And you telling me this, just saying hello to me. I'm sorry, because this is her just saying that. She told me, can I get a hug? I was like, of course. She was like, I was thinking about doing things to myself because I couldn't take it anymore. Um, she had told me that she felt like she was unseen. No one sees her, no one cares. Just to have a total stranger just say, hi, how you doing? Or you're beautiful, I love your smile. That made her day. So I think that we as women should take the time out to just say hello to someone, even if we don't know them, even if we're walking to work. Everyone has a busy schedule, but just take the time out to just show that you care. Even if maybe they don't say anything back, but as long as you made some
Right.
type of interaction with them, it makes a very impactful difference. It really does. Um, Sometimes a friend will be more supportive of you than even a family member. Sometimes I've come across friends, military service members that don't we don't share the same blood, but that's my family, and I'll go above and beyond for you. Um, when we're veterans, we're seen differently. Some people praise or support us, and some people don't. It's the total opposite.
Right.
Um, when I came back home from Florida, unfortunately, I was staying with my mom, and I had to leave her house with two little babies. The others were in college, and there's a lot of support systems for us veterans, and sometimes there isn't. That it got to a point where I was sleeping in my car with my children, even working at this job that I'm doing right now, because we're prideful. We don't want people to know what we're going through. I want to keep helping others, but sometimes I don't think about what I must do for me first. I can't pour from an empty cup. I'm running on fumes, helping the next person, but I'm like, I have to stop. What am I doing? I'm
Right.
here helping Sue, Mary, and Ellen, but I'm living in a car with two of my kids. I had to stop, think about what I have to do to better me, because if I'm not good, then my kids are not good. And if I'm not good, I can't help others. I'm doing a disservice to everyone, even an injustice to myself.
Right.
So thank God there are organizations out there that help us veterans. BVSJ, Services for the Underserved, helped me get my apartment where I'm at right now. Thank you, Lord. God is so good. And it's taught me to value and be more appreciative, be more grateful. And it's like, okay, fine. Every morning I say my prayers. Thank you, Lord, for waking me up. Thank you, Lord, for letting me sleep through the night. It gets to a point where it's repetitive. Like I say the same stuff every day. But when you go through certain things in life, you learn to put meaning to these words. Like, for instance, I love you. I just like it when people just say I love you, because it's just that you're throwing those three words that have so much power that people use it so much that it loses its meaning, its power. And then when you go through certain things and you say, God, thank you for my home, when I didn't have one, when I had a home before, I was like, yeah, my house, whatever, decorated. But when you go without and you finally have it again, you are
Right.
more grateful for it. You are more appreciative of it. And that's when my faith comes in. Like, certain experiences that we have to go through that may be negative, it's to better you, to shape you, to mold you, to make you greater for your purpose or your path, to get you closer. And thank God that I've learned what my purpose is in life is to help, is to give, is to be supportive, be light to someone that's in the darkness and guide them. Be like, here, hear me, here's my hand, I'm here for you. Um, Making new friends. It's amazing, like yourselves. Like, just being in your presence, in your aura, it matches the same energy. It's like we connected, we clicked, we're sisters. We gave each other hugs, and it's just like, oh, this is amazing. I wish that we women felt the same way all around. I don't know if you guys. can relate. You know,
Yeah.
certain areas that you go to, or certain places, and you're amongst other women. Some women feel like, oh, this is an alpha woman, or just because the way she projects herself or how she comports herself, or even her posture, they may take it the wrong way and have their own biases of you without knowing you. I wish that we women would not do that and support each other. And if you don't know something, just ask and and be happy that we're here. We're supposed to support each other. I don't know you, but you ask me anything, and Rosie, I need you to do this. Rosie, can you please support me? Yes, I'm here for you. Why? Because you're a woman. You're my sister. You showed me love. I give you love, or I give you love. You guys show me love, and that's how we need to be. This world needs a lot of love. This world needs people to care about each other.
Can I break in here just for a
Yeah.
minute? I'm
Mhm.
a
Yes.
vet. Uh,
Thank you for your
Karen's not
service.
able to. Yeah,
My
I would.
brothers and
I
sisters.
served.
Thank you for
Yeah,
your
I was.
service, Tom.
Yeah, I went in 1970. I got out of the army in '79, and
Ooh,
yeah, it was a much different time than when you were in. When I went in 1970, the Vietnam War was still running. To give you an idea, there were 6 guys in my basic training company that enlisted. Everybody else was drafted or a National Guard. It was things were off the hook. Things were pretty crazy, and a lot of the drug and racial problems that were afflicting society back then. I was a naive kid from a small town. I really identify with the culture shock you went through. At 18, I went through it at 19, but it was very emotionally mature. And I just couldn't believe some of the violence and some of the craziness and all the drugs and a lot of the things that were going on, particularly after I went overseas. And I volunteered. Originally, I was going in to be a combat engineer, and they gave me an opportunity due to my test scores to go into EOD, which is bomb disposal. And now they have women in bomb disposal. You know, what they were starting to do, and when you talked about women, going into those roles, and they served in combat roles in the last 3 or 4 conflicts, or, basically since 90 and on, they have put women in combat roles, and I got in trouble and got kicked out of EOD when I was in Korea. They reclassified me as an MP, and I was a terrible MP, military policeman. But they started putting women into the military police, into all kinds of other roles, all kinds of things. Before they had the Women's Army Corps, and basically they were either in the medical field or almost all of them were administration, like you started too. And they called them wax back then, but then they started integrating them because they had to. And a large percentage of the women have been deployed, like sounds like you were, you know. And even in our National Guard here, they had a like a support unit, working on trucks or whatever. And there was a woman who was captured. Several women were captured, in the first Gulf War, and it just has continued. And a bunch of National Guard ladies, they took them from a support unit and put them in uh, guarding convoys running around in Iraq and Afghanistan in striker vehicles, which I'm sure you know what those are. In combat, direct combat roles. And a lot of them have PTSD, because, and they kept deploying them and wouldn't let them leave. So I'm sure you've seen all this. And when I saw women start to come into different fields, uh, a lot of the sexual trauma and things you spoke about, one of my friends in a 12-step program was was sexually traumatized. And what they used to do, and thank God they've changed it, And it even happened to a woman that was in the Air Force Academy that was, raped and abused. They put him out of the military.
Yes.
They put him out. They put him out, and God help you if it was a senior NCO or an officer. You know that as much as I do, and understand you were blessed to be in the situation you were, and just the way you carried yourself probably helped you.
It,
Growing up from where you grew up at, they knew that you, yeah, I can see where that would carry you through. Sorry, I just wanted to share my experiences. I saw this shit happen. I
mm.
saw this stuff.
Are you service connected now?
Um, I went for it. I got out of the army and I ended up in a VA psych ward. And I went about 10 years ago and tried to get up. They offered me 100% in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
And I was scared to let them have the VA have me, if that makes any sense. They put so many drugs in me. So it was such a bad experience in a psych ward back then. And there's a whole bunch of guys, and they turned me down. I didn't do something right. I've got people trying to push me now to go
Yes,
to
you
do
should.
it. I belong to the VFW, and I went through a bunch of treatment, and I swore I would never do this. Most veterans of my age group,
Yes, definitely.
were very much not
Yeah.
like. But I went ahead and joined the VFW not all that long ago, and I'm very proud to be part of the honor guard. We bury veterans.
If you need help with your service connection claims via SOL with New York State Department of Veteran Services, and I can help you with your compensation claims and all the benefits that you're entitled to.
Okay,
I'll have the ladies
I
give you
live,
information, and I will help you do
I
that. Anyone else?
I
Help.
live way out in Indiana. Yeah,
If
but
you could email me documentation, if we can talk via email and send me the papers I need, you could be in Mars, and I will still help you. I will
yeah,
pay
well,
the
yeah,
way.
I that's a long story.
Thank you,
Sounds
Rosie.
Of
Yeah,
course.
but I just wanted to support you in what you were talking about, and I appreciate particularly what you're doing for women veterans. I've seen a bunch of them. Uh, like I remember I was waiting for medication. We've got a great big VA, very big one down here in Indianapolis that is very well staffed and taken care of. And I've got to say that some of the doctors and practitioners in there are just excellent. I've seen them work 12-hour days. You know, uh,
That's a hit or miss. It depends on where you're at. Like for instance, when you're in the military, the doctors there are the C class from the civilian sector
yeah,
sometimes. So the treatment that you receive there when you're in the military is hit or miss as well.
yeah,
I don't want to offend anyone, but if you're white, you get treated a certain way. If you're white and with rank, you get treated a certain way.
you
When you're
bet.
brown with rank as a woman, you get treated one way, and when you're brown and no rank, you get treated the lowest. You're the bottom of the human pool.
Chet, I get it. I get it.
It's
Yeah,
terrible the treatment that you get, even in the civilian sector when you're a brown woman. Even giving birth, we don't get treated with respect and dignity. Unfortunately, look at our tennis star, one of the Serena Williams. She almost died giving birth because the doctors thought that she was lying about being in pain and something was wrong. She almost had an embolism.
I've
In the
seen
military,
so much.
well,
I've seen so much of that. Things have improved. It
yes.
was just crazy, man. We had riots, we had all kinds of crazy stuff in my day. I mean, I'm going to tell you, I was scared to death a lot of the time because things were just, like I said, the military back then, particularly with almost everybody being drafted, did
Hmm.
not want to be there. The officers, the only way they kept rank was to be professional liars. And the NCOs, the senior NCOs were, you know, not all of them,
Yes.
but like
Not
you
all.
say, it was hit or miss. A lot of them were bitter drunks. The alcoholism rate when I was in, including myself and a lot of the guys I served with, the alcoholism and drug addiction was crazy, absolutely insane in my time.
And it's like PTSD, for instance, is a new terminology now, but it was the same trauma from the beginning of time when we're in the military, when we even had the Civil War. And even when we had the Civil War, women didn't just start supporting in wars 3 decades ago. We've been there since the beginning of time as well, supporting the men.
Hmm.
When the men were off to war, who was in the factories making the weapons, the
Hmm. Hmm.
ammunition? The
And
six triple A, six triple
they
A.
flew, they flew planes, big B-17s,
Women,
helped delivered them over to England. They did all kinds of stuff, and like you said, and then at the end of the war, they're like, okay, go back home and be a homemaker. And the lady said, mm-mm, I've been making money. I am not going to give up my job. You know, they got in the union, and but even then, I mean, it's just things are changed, but things have slowly
so
changed. I'm 75 years old. I remember what things were like when I was a kid, and I've seen things change, but I've also seen them go south,
yes.
you know.
And can you imagine this as a man in the military? You get all the medical treatment you need. As a woman in the military, no,
I'll, okay,
let me
okay,
just
go,
like
please
finish.
go.
Okay, since women weren't in the military again, so later on, there's a lot of
Hmm.
services for us women that they did not provide us. And even with our co-ed, let's put it this way, we didn't even get dental. You know that we hardly even went to the dentist. It was frowned upon to go to the doctors if you fell, you hurt yourself, you injured yourself. Pain is weakness leaving the body, is what you were told. You don't complain, you suck it up and drive on, right? Can you imagine a woman with emotional, hormonal issues in the military? Endometriosis, PCOS, all these um,
Mm,
ailments and
okay.
conditions that you're going through in the military and they don't know how to treat you, or they make you not say anything, you have to hold that in. Right now, women who serve are higher rates of how you call it, menopause early. A lot of women
Mm,
who serve that become civilians can conceive, can have children. We're having issues with the VA didn't have certain VA hospitals didn't have a mental health women's health clinic.
mm,
So women had to get services outsourced. When we have children, we have to go outsource. A women's health clinic, when I need a PAP or OB, a GYN appointment, I couldn't go to the VA, I had to go somewhere else. So little by little, by 2010, 2015, almost all of the VA hospitals in the United States have a women's health clinic.
That's good.
And we still have to prove that we got hurt in the military in order for us to get treatment in the VA hospital. I had to help one female that because of the burn pits and all the
mm-hmm,
toxins that she was exposed to, it um, impacted her hormones, and she developed PCOS, endometriosis, and all these, gynecological female issues, right?
mm,
And she can't conceive, can't have children. So, in order for the VA to pay for her to have IVF, and she's been married to her husband since they were both in the military, we have to prove that where she served and what she did to defend this nation was what caused her to be infertile. We
one of
have
my
to try to make it a presumptive. Like, what Agent Orange, a
very
lot
much
of,
so, yeah.
a lot of veterans complained about the same symptoms being the same area, the same location, and that's why Agent Orange for you Vietnam War vets has been granted in 2022, I believe what it was. So at least in that aspect, it's growth or positivity for men. But for us women, we still got to prove that the issues that we're having are from the military, but there's no presumptives for us. We still got a we still got a long way to go. You guys have paved the way, the men have paved the way, but what you endured and I endured is totally different. Even though
Hmm.
women have fought side by side with men, the triggers and how it impacts us is totally different than men. The care for you for the men is there always, but not for women. And that's where we're at right now. This is where I'm trying to build or educate people that being a New York State Women Veteran Coordinator, for instance, you said about Jessica Lynch, who's a female that was a prisoner of war. She's a West Virginia Women Veteran Coordinator. We meet once a year, and I'm able to speak with her.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, she's awesome. But there's a lot of laws that we as women who serve are trying to get established. We are underrepresented and underserved, and we're there supporting our brothers who are serving and serve, and we also are out there in the trenches as well.
They have
And,
women
yeah,
have really. I'm sorry, didn't mean to break you off,
no, no
but
worries.
I'm agreeing with you. You know, women have now gone into combat roles, and I think in the deployment it was something like 15% or something by average, and a lot of these ladies were in the National Guard or Reserves. People don't know that women were multiply deployed. They didn't care what your kids were. We almost had to take. Um, my stepson was married to a woman from Trinidad, and she was in the reserves. We almost had to take their kid
Yeah,
when they were both deployed.
you have
They
to.
were going to deploy her and she managed to talk them out of it because she was working for the army at the time, but she almost got deployed back in 2003, 2004.
Yeah, it's hard. It's difficult when couples are in the military together because when it's time for you to go on a mission and you have to deploy, you have to give a sign off your children to a family
Yes,
member or someone. You have
some
to.
people have lost their children through that.
Yes.
You know, I've got a buddy who spent 5 years away from his family. He was an infantry guy. He did three deployments, and his shortest deployment, and they stop lost him, which means they would not let him leave. And here he is, combat infantry, but he's a real solid guy. He did his shortest deployment was 15 months, and he was away from his family. Like he would get home for a few months, boom,
Go
they
back.
deploy him again. And they were doing that with their National Guard and Reserve units because, quite frankly, they had beat the shit out of the active duties. So you've got a hell of a job, and I appreciate what you're doing
I'm
because
excited.
across the board, it's what was it, 15% or even more were deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan of
Um,
females.
one of um one of my sisters, she's from CUNY. I don't want to say her name because just in case. But
Right.
she was an MP in the Army, E7, I believe, E7,
Mm,
3 tours in Afghanistan. And when she comes home, she doesn't get support.
Wow.
And she's a woman.
yeah.
And it's crazy where your employer doesn't believe that you are the veteran. They believe that it's the men. That's another thing that we have to do, have to introduce people, or
Mm,
a lot of people are ignorant and assume automatically that a veteran is a man. No, I served as well. I took that oath just like you did. I deserve the same respect that a man does because I served as well. And when we're together, it's not man or woman. We're all, in the army. You know how it was. We're all green.
hmm.
There's no girls, no boy. We're green. We're soldiers, and that's it. And a lot of women don't get that respect. A lot of women don't receive the same treatment as men do. Like even with my commissioner, Reverend Dr. Viviana de Cohen, when she goes out with her husband, he says he'll wear a shirt that says, "I'm the spouse of a veteran." And when they're standing together, people will still shake his hand and tell him, "Thank you for your service." When meanwhile,
Hmm.
the commissioner is a veteran, a Marine veteran at that.
Hmm.
And he tells them, "Don't you read my shirt? My
Hmm.
wife is the veteran. Say thank you to her."
Hmm.
We're in
Mhm.
2026 and we still have to fight to get the recognition that we deserve. And why is it so hard to believe that women can do these things? We've been making it happen. Look at us, Karen and Joan. When we have 100 bags from the grocery store, are we making multiple trips?
Hmm.
No, no, we're not. We're taking all 100 bags and we're making only one trip because we make it happen.
Yeah.
Without knowing, we have organizational skills, we have leadership skills, we um so we do things without having to take excess steps to execute. We execute the mission. We get all the groceries in one tribe, put them away, make sure we're cooking, make sure the kids are well, and at the same time, we're going off to war
Hmm.
and we're balancing the home and the children, and we have to deploy. We
They,
need more recognition. We need more support. We need
I,
more services. And that's why, as a women veteran coordinator, when I go report these things to the VA directors, we let them know what it is that we need, what it is that we're missing.
hmm.
And it's opened up their eyes a lot. Like, not all the states have a women veteran coordinator. Not all states or VA hospitals have a women's health clinic. And at this conference last year, we were able to let them know, like, hey, shame on you for not having a woman veteran coordinator.
I don't know if they have anything like that at the VAs here. You know, I'd have to drive 75 miles to one of the small clinics, you know.
Yes,
I
they
didn't like driving 100, you know, to go down to India. I live out rural, but I appreciate the work you're doing. I
thank
really
you.
do.
But
Yeah.
I just like, thank you, everyone. But see, hearing you, it shouldn't take you to drive 100 miles to get the services that you need or have to go to a clinic or a satellite clinic.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, satellite clinic. But the doctors that the care that I've received, at least from the doctors I'm with, I can't tell you. They work 12-hour days, and the woman doctor that I have up it's north of here at the satellite clinic, she works at least 12-hour days. I've had her call me at 7 o'clock at night because they were monitoring my blood sugar and my. She called me up bitching at me at 7 o'clock at night. This woman from Pakistan, right? She wears
Wow.
a hijab and stuff, and what is wrong with you? Why are you not taking your medication? you know, you know, we
That's
invested
a really
money,
great doctor.
because they would do my blood pressure for my high blood pressure, and
Are you service
she's the one
connected
who,
to them?
um, no,
Oh no, you have to call me because if you have high blood pressure and you're in Vietnam, that I can get
yeah.
you service connected for that. No, 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 you really need to call me.
That
That's
actually, I was en route to go in country, and the bomb disposal units were shutting down so fast. They were stepping down so fast. It was early '72. If I'd gone a couple weeks before, I would have gone. I would have gone. And instead, I ended up in Korea, and I did 3 tours because the party was good.
oh,
You know, that was a different. Let me tell you, it was a different time. But
and even it's a different time, Tommy, for me because when I went in, they started introducing don't ask, don't tell.
hmm.
But we still had our blanket parties like you guys did. And
Hmm.
now this military now is different. They have their little flags that they could wave. They get their cell phones. We didn't have that.
No, no.
Friends. It's a totally different military, and you can't stress people out.
Yeah.
It's totally different, but we like the times change, It's the same problem, just addressed differently.
Mm-hmm.
Same issues, just different verbiage, different wording. But we have to support and help one another to get through it.
Hmm.
I can't help you when you're in, but I'm gonna help you when you get out.
Yeah.
Hmm. It was a very strange time, and they were starting to change it when I got out. You know what I mean? I got in trouble and got busted from E5 to E6 a week before ETS before I left
No,
service.
you mean the opposite. E6 to E5.
I got busted from
Got
E6 to
demoted.
E5 a week. Yeah, field grade Article 15. Um, it was over what I consider bullshit, but they just
What kind of
it's not.
discharge did you receive?
Oh, I got an honorable.
Okay, so you're still good.
So, and then I went in the Navy. I saw a Navy recruiter, and I'd just been to college, and I've always tested well. And I did a pre-ASVAB and got a 50 on it. I met him out at a bar where I was drunk, and he started Navy recruiter started buying me drinks, right? So he says, "Oh, come down, man. I'll get you lunch and stuff." So I came in and took a pre-ASVAB, and I was unemployed at the time, working on little bitty jobs. I lived outside of St. Louis,
But
and I
that's
was actually
about
living in my folks' basement at 31. What was I, 30, whatever? It was 82. I guess I was 31. So I signed up in the Navy, and then they, I didn't tell them I'd been on a psych ward in between, you know, and I didn't know I had to get a secret clearance. So they went and talked to my neighbors, and they said, "That son of a bitch is crazy."
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
And he's a drug addict. So they called me in, and this Department of Defense investigator said, "Well, we've got this, that, and everything, like you lied coming into the Navy." And I was going to go in subs. I'd already been through, I was one of the top grads from sub school. It was like 106 out of 113 graduating sub school, and I was in a electronics training, and boom, they threw me in the brig and then bounced me out. But I got a honorable under general. I got a chapter 5.
okay.
But I don't even talk about, I didn't really.
What?
Yeah.
That's why my point is Vietnam era veterans did not were not well received when they came back from the war. So it
Yeah,
was
I
difficult to get a job. It was difficult to go back to your family, and even veterans now that come back from deployments and Iraq, Afghanistan, Kuwait, all these places, and they've seen certain things. Even the veterans that National Guard and reservists that had to help with the COVID-19, dealing with the bodies, with the people that passed away because of this pandemic, that's detrimental. You know how many mental health claims I have to submit and provide and tell them you need help, you need mental health help because compensation can help you one way, but you still need the treatment. And what's good now is that times have changed where people, service members, when they go off to war and come back, they're accepted. There's a lot of resources for us now. But Vietnam War era veterans and back didn't have it that way. And Vietnam had it the worst. No support, no job,
I
families.
trust
People
me,
didn't
I
talk
remember.
to you mentally. They came back warped and didn't have the mental health services that is available now. And to this day, I have a few veterans that were tricked into seeing me by their wives, Vietnam War veterans, so I could help them with their compensation claim. And because I was able to introduce to them, speak to them, like, look, you're entitled to this. No, I'm all right. And the wife tells me, no, he's not. He's lost it. I'm going through it. Like, we also need to have good for
Hmm.
there's other organizations to support the family members of these veterans that come home, because it's not only the service member that's in the military, the family too, the spouses, the
For
children.
real, for
The
real, for
children,
real,
people
for real.
were coming home, and how much, for example, how am I supposed to talk to dad or wife? you sleeping, you can't turn a certain type of way because you might get punched in the face because your husband is sleeping and may not remember where he's at and attack you when you sleep.
I know of a guy who slept with a bayonet under his pillow for 50 years, 40, 50 years after the war, after he came back. My sponsor in a 12-step program, he did convoy escort and stuff and, perimeter security on an Air Force base. He got sprayed. Agent Orange was sprayed directly on him.
Oh,
And he went through two bouts of cancer. He ended up having a colostomy from when because all that went down his system. He ingested all that,
and the
you
burn
know.
pits, they know that
Oh,
our
no,
government, our
the
government
burn
is
pits.
wonderful when it wants to be, but the things that they do to service members when they're in the military, knowing that is harmful, you're expendable. And if you break what U.S. Army,
Mhm,
what I was told when I burnt myself, I was told you're going to get in trouble because you destroyed government property.
mm,
And U.S. Army stands for Uncle Sam ain't released me yet. That means that I belong to the government. However, my contract time states I belong to the government.
mm.
So you can't destroy government property because you
Can
will
I
get in trouble.
can I tell you a story about, like, I've got two. One of them was when I served, they would put us it was below zero, right up by the DMZ in Korea, like January, and I had something wrong with me. I actually went to the MASH unit that they have, that movie and story was about. So, um, I went there for treatment. What they did is they thought everybody was messing around. We still had a lot of draftees. They took us in an open truck below zero to go to sick call. Can you imagine if you had pneumonia? I had dysentery, right? They waited until I went to the medics almost every day. And I'm not going to give you the details of it, but, you know, if I drank a glass of water, it would come out of me in 15 minutes. So, and and here I am, this is in another unit. Here it is, February. Out in the back of an open truck going 7 miles, man. They did that to keep people from malingering, to make it as miserable as they could. And heck, you didn't see a doctor at these little clinics on compounds. You didn't see a doctor. You looked at some PFC that was stoned out of his mind. I mean, that's the facts back then. That was the facts, Jack. And yeah, they'd give you some pills. Here, man, take these Darvon threes and drink a couple beers with them. You'll be all right. You know, yeah, you've got your mic's off. I think you've got to turn your mic back on. Oh my gosh. Now, no, we can't hear you. You may have to come out and come back in. I don't see your mic being muted. I may try muting it and taking it off. Doggone it, we had the same problem with Lady K. But anyway, that was just the way
Wow.
things were during my time. And I've got a friend, she's talking about the burn pits. He has autoimmune diseases that has destroyed his blood. And he was smart. He did his own, filed it for himself, and he's got 100% disability. But, you know, a lot of guys, and the VA just does a runaround. He was just in the hospital with a blood clot that
Wow.
went in. Here, let me see if it'll work now.
Karen, can you hear us? Are we not hearing you?
I
Can
can
you hear
hear.
me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
you're
can hear you
fine
now.
now.
Yes,
You're fine
you're
now.
fine.
You just had to pop out and pop in. I don't know what's going on with Karen. We've
I
never
don't know
had that
what's going
problem.
on. Right.
But yeah, I was going to say, Rosie, um, one of my friends I'm in the VFW with was deployed twice. He has from the burn pits, and he also did a tour in Africa. People don't know where service members have been sent and the harm they've been put in the way. There's a lot of things that civilians never learn about, and the news doesn't cover it because it's not sexy and because the government suppresses it. And you know that better than I do.
Look at Fort Hood, Texas. They had to change the name. How many females have been unalived by their superiors, and the media doesn't know anything? Social
I
media has its pros and cons. If it isn't now, with these times, if we wouldn't have social media, we wouldn't know the things that are going on. We wouldn't know about all the women. If you Google search women who have been unalived in the military, this one officer, African American female, she wouldn't let her superiors take advantage of her, and she was an officer, and they kicked her out of they tried kicking her out the military because she stood her ground and wouldn't let them
mhm.
military sexually abuse her. It's
They covered that up in my day, particularly if it was a higher rank.
Yes,
But
they're still doing
one
that
of
now.
one of my friends, it happened to her with a senior officer. She was just like a little E3, right? And she was in the Air Force, and basically they put her out. But since it was documented, the VA, and she needed it, man. She was in bad shape. They gave her 100% right now. If you can document it, at least where I live, they don't even mess with it. If they can document it, it's 100% right now.
But it's
And
difficult
I had a
sometimes,
buddy.
Tom, where if your abuser is part of your chain of command, who do you go to? They make it difficult for
Exactly.
you.
And
Like
if
if
you
it's my supervisor that's doing these things to me, I have to go through the chain of command in order to be able to speak to someone else. There's only so much a chaplain can do when you're in to
mm,
get help. And a lot of times, females or even males go through this and they just suck it up until they get home. And the
in my
VA picks, if they do report to the VA will pick up where the military left you off, where the military
if it's
did you
if you're
wrong,
lucky, if you're
if you're
lucky,
lucky.
if you're lucky and you're in a place where, you know what I mean, they
You have
have
that
that. I can
support.
just say, yeah, I can just say where I live, it's they're great. I mean, I can get to a specialist quicker in the VA than I can in the civilian area here.
Yes, and
That
that aspect, you're so right. It depends on where you're at. Like with my work, my job, I don't use their insurance. I use the VA for everything because I'm entitled to it. I'm not going to spend more money where the VA is treating me good. But in certain aspects, some VAs are terrible. And we
oh
need
yeah,
to speak about that. We need to report that. We need to let the
some
veteran
states
director,
are
VA directors
awful.
know these things because if they don't know, they're not gonna make a difference. So if we keep our mouths shut, what is it that they say? A mouth that's quiet doesn't get fed.
Right,
Hmm.
closed mouth don't get fed.
There you go. So we have to make noise, and finally, we women are making enough noise that we're getting the attention that we deserve. Not only attention, but we're getting the respect and the services that we are entitled to as well. Even though yearly about 6,700 male veterans unalive themselves, women that serve, our numbers are lower than males, but they're rising. And I've been grateful to have received funding for mental health retreats all over New York State. And that's where I did my Courage and Calm events I'm having to
Hmm.
provide mental health services, resources to women who serve, our sisters who serve. And in every region, I'm having one, and we provide them with the mental health department, women's health clinic, doctors come and speak to them. But we also have breakout sessions, so that way we don't have to just talk about traditional medicine. I like to do
Mm.
more homeopathic, how you could change your foods to help you with your mental state, how we can pray, affirmations, yoga, exercise, massage therapy,
Hmm.
equine therapy, different oils, massages, scents, to whenever you're gonna go into a mental crisis, you have these tools and you'll know what a trigger would be and what you need to do to stop these triggers.
Mhm.
Um, there's also organizations that will provide you with a service animal for people that have PTSD, MST, which is wonderful. And there's also another organization that provides you with these lock boxes that they
Mhm.
tell you to put in here anything that you can use to unalive yourself. So
Mhm.
either a weapon, medication, knives, a rope, whatever you think that you have in your home that you can use to end your life, you put it there, right?
I
And
I
there's
can I can tell that you're very used to some of the restrictions on some of the platforms uh, because you say unlive because if you get keywords they'll block some of the pages.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so I get it.
Um, when I did my last Courage and Calm event on the 26th, three females asked for those boxes because they were on the verge of doing that. And that was so impactful that one of the girls was like, oh, she was like, Rosie, Rosie, please get me that box. Please, I need it. I came here as my last resort to get help.
Mm,
And that right there, it broke my heart, but it told me this is what you need to do. This is so it's worth it. Everything that I'm doing and trying to do, just helping that one veteran made a difference. That she felt safe enough to approach me. She didn't know me. That's the first day she met me at the Courage and Calm event. And she was like, Miss Rosie, please, I need that box. Can you please help me? Because if I leave here today, I'm not gonna be here.
I've
And
seen it. I get it. I get it. I've seen it. I know of it.
it's the way men and women do these things is so different. A woman, when she's gonna do that, she makes sure the house is clean, the kids are fine. If she has a husband and he's good to go, she leaves everything clean, and she's gonna do it in a manner that does not is not gonna leave a mess in the home. She doesn't want to be a burden to her family, and we need to bring forth more information and support to let everyone know, men and women, that there's services for you. There's people there for you. That there's is judgment free. It's a safe zone. We're here for you. We're going to teach you different mechanisms. We're going to provide for you. Just don't do that. Don't use that as a last resort. There's always another route to go to than using that as your last escape go. With that black box, you have to have a key. You have to give a key to someone else, and there's different steps and levels for you to get to open that box. And if you get to the level where you get the key and you open that box, the last message you're going to see there is your family members' pictures and a voice note, them telling you, I love you. We need you. You're important. We see you. Don't do this. And it's sad that people still think this way because of everything that they have endured. But I'm helpful that there's people like us that are building platforms, that are informing people, that are supporting people to let them know, teach you how to deal with someone that has a mental crisis, and to help those that are having a mental crisis know that, wow, they care about me. I can speak to them freely and they'll help me and they'll listen to me and not judge me. So it's like there's pros and cons to everything, but at least we're trying to go to the right path to support each other. And that's where we show love and
Mhm.
empathy, and that's what we need. And a lot of people are not feeling love, they're feeling emptiness and they feel like they're in darkness because they don't know how to express how they're feeling. And that's what it's important to, if you don't want to go to the VA doctor, then talk to a friend, talk to somebody, go take a walk,
Do you,
go run, do
like
push-ups when you're feeling some type of way. But we need to educate more, and we need to educate also the civilian sector to understand when we have TBI, traumatic brain injury, we forget things.
can it can
We
I
know we could see a face, but we won't remember a name.
um we're not slow, we're not dumb. We just suffered an injury that makes us a little bit slower, but you have to have patience with me.
We have a guy like that in the VFW here that was in a, he got hit with a roadside bomb. I mean, an ID. He is messed
Hmm.
up, and he's so proud, man, and he has so many problems, and one whole side of his body's messed up. But he's so proud and he gets around. I just wanted to say something about the World War II veterans. I have an uncle, right? You talked about TBI.
Hmm.
He was in the Battle of the Bulge. Units he was with had 125% casualties from D Day to VE Day, right? Over 11-month period. Um, he had TBI because he was all the barrages and everything he went through, and plus all the combat he went through. He saw like the concentration camps, all and he was angry until the day he died with all the death he saw and how generals would throw men away, just throw units away. And somebody said, well, how could like the Big Red One, or like where you served, the 101st, how could a unit have 125% casualties? Easy. I met a guy who was in Big Red One who didn't get into it till March of 45, right? And I says, oh, wow, man, that unit really got hit at Omaha. And he looked at me like I was an idiot. He said by March, there wasn't anybody left in my infantry unit that was at Omaha. My uncle, his original unit was, they were they were like a Reton, you know, super unit, He saw it and he left that unit and went to another one, which is the only reason he's still alive. He saw that unit toward the end of the war and said, "Oh my God," because you know how we got bumper stickers, identifying your unit. They were
Hmm.
lagered up somewhere.
Our,
So
our patches tell us when we're
yeah,
from.
yeah, exactly. You know that, I know that, but also on your bumpers, they'll have whatever unit you're with. And he saw the
Hmm.
unit, it was an armored unit. He ran over there. Oh man, it would be great to see the guys, because he trained with those guys from 43 to 44. When he left that unit and went to another one, he got in trouble. It's a long story. And some officer saved his ass, basically, and got transferred him out. There was one guy alive that had been with the unit when he served with it. They were
I have one
virtual.
World
The
War
battalion,
II vet
yeah,
that I'm helping. He's 100% now service connected, and I love him
good
to
for you.
death. And trying to get him aid in attendance so his daughter could take care of him. He is so blessed that the doctor's like, I don't have to give you aid in attendance because you could do everything by yourself still.
Yeah,
And that just brings me so much joy.
yeah,
I'm like, you should have
he
said you needed
died.
help. He was like, no, I could do it by myself. I don't need nobody to help me.
That's
And he's
that
102.
generation. Well, he finally started talking to me just before he died, and he was angry and he had TBI. He would work up. I I know the symptoms. You know what I mean. He had PTSD, but those guys didn't talk about it. They don't talk.
No,
Since
they
I
still
was a
don't.
vet, yeah, that era, they don't talk about it. He started talking just before he died, and I realized the trauma he went through as a 19, 20-year-old kid. And his children, he put all of them through college and did the down payment for their first house.
Wow.
They were angry at him because he would go off. But he
Question
did
for
all
you,
that for him. He did all
Tommy.
that for him. Yeah,
Question for you. How do you feel? I think, me personally, I think the enlistment age should be higher. It shouldn't be 18 or even waiver for a 17-year-old. I think that 25 would be a better age to have people enlist because even at 17 years old to the age of 24, our brains haven't fully developed yet. We can't make
I
the correct choice decisions that someone has to make in a wartime situation, and to deal with it as well is very detrimental. Like that trauma stunts the brain from growing. So if you're 17, 18 years old and you see these things, that's it. Your brain shuts down. Your brain says, I'm not, I checked out. I'm not here anymore.
And that was my uncle. And then what happens late in life, the stuff I've start have stuff that's coming back to me now. I'm 75 that happened 50 some years ago, right? So I get it with the nature of what I did, without going into detail.
Yes.
But I get it. But the World War II vets had that. They shut up. I walked through the grave. I live right next to the city graveyard. I walked through there, and you would be surprised how young some of those returning World War II vets died. Drank
Babies.
themselves to death. Yeah, and the average age of a combat infantryman in Vietnam was 19, and it wasn't a whole lot older for World War II. By the
Yeah, a lot
time
of
my uncle went in, you know, they'd run through all the older guys. They were, you know what I'm saying. They
yeah,
would
Tommy,
just,
for Vietnam War era when they drafted, a lot of the Vietnam War era veterans didn't even have their high school diplomas.
oh yeah, no, they put guy.
17 years old, they're drafted, they didn't even finish high school. When I was in the Department of Labor, there was a program where we would help these veterans get their GEDs.
Wow.
I know.
Here we are. You were in
I served.
Vietnam in the 70s, and it's 2015, and you don't even have a high school diploma yet.
Um, I'll tell you something that people don't know is the draftees that came in. A lot of them, like from New York and stuff, were black and Latino, and they put them in no matter what. They call it McNamara's 100,000. They put people in that had IQs of 70. Cannon fodder, cannon fodder. And
Yeah.
people don't know, even during my time, those infantry units had a high proportion of African Americans.
And also, just when you would say that you're from New York, you would be treated differently when you're in the military. You could be the nicest person in the whole wide world, but just because you say you're from New York, everybody ganged up on you.
A lot of
No
the
one liked
officer
you.
corps, a lot of the officer corps and NCO corps back in my time, because some of these guys have been in World War II in Korea, in between wars, were from the South. Truth.
So
So
whenever
you
Yankees
already
would come
know.
down, we would get roasted. We would not be received in a welcoming manner.
Yeah.
So it's
Yep.
like your gender had played a role,
Right.
your age played a role, demographics played a role, your rank played a role, where you're stationed at played a role. It's like so much stuff that you
Your
have to
unit,
deal with. Yeah,
your
so much stuff that you
unit,
have to deal with.
and the ranking officers, their attitudes played a role. It was just
Definitely.
it was just crazy. It was just a crazy time when I was in, man. There's a way to describe it if you didn't serve in those years. I'm just impressed with your generation, how they've done these wars and how well they've done. It wasn't that
Uh,
way in my time.
im- Impressed is, I think, it's the same. What I think that's impressive now is how veterans are received when they come home. To me, that's the difference. Because war is war. No matter how you look at it,
True.
no matter
Mm,
what year you're in, no matter what type of weaponry. Because when you were in, it was just straight up ammunition, right? Now it's nuclear. Now it's gas. Now it's different warfare, but at the end of the day, it's still war. The trauma is still trauma.
I
Right.
trained in all that as bomb disposal. I know
Exactly.
I trained in
NBC
nukes and chemical
is what
and
we call it.
biological weapons. Yeah.
So, what makes an impact is the difference that the civilian sector is giving the veterans when they come home, how we're being received. You
hmm
unfortunately got the bad part of
it was
society
hell.
when you
It
came
was
home.
it was bad traveling, and there were celebrities that would be at airports and went to bases to try to get guys to desert. they wouldn't have to go to prison, you know.
No.
They
If you
wouldn't
go
go to
AWOL,
Leavenworth.
that's it.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I'm not going to mention any names, and some
No.
actually went and gave comfort to the enemy, and POWs were tortured to act nice around them. You know,
But even
I have not
now,
forgotten how I was treated. Yeah, it's a little 19, 20-year-old kid, going through airports back then. I have not forgotten.
but now with the borders, our National Guard members can see everything that's happening on the borders and they can't help. And when I hear these veterans tell me, I've seen women get raped, I've seen children die, and they're not allowed to help. They have to just stand there. And if something happens, they have to call Border Patrol and tell them, hey, someone's unalived. Hey, someone got
Yeah.
essayed. Come and help. You know how warped their mind is, how they come
Mm,
home and they shut down. And that's what we need to address these things. We need to make the public aware of this stuff so they could understand when someone says that they're a veteran and they come home, be supportive.
Right.
mm,
Just say thank you because you don't know what this person
Right.
endured. You don't know what they had
mm,
to do just so you can sleep, stay at home and sleep well, rest your head safely. You don't have to worry about getting bombed. You don't have to worry about getting shot. You don't have to worry about nuclear. You don't have to worry about gases. You live your life and go about your business. But you don't know what these young kids, service member, no matter what age, as long as we're in the military, we're defending this nation. Give us a break when we come home because you don't know what that service member
Right.
endured when they're in the service.
mm,
Just support them. Just say thank you. You're a veteran. Just thank you. Thank you for all you did. Even if you don't know what they did, but just thank them because that means a lot.
Yeah.
And support them. Anything that you see about a veteran, share the information. Address it. Talk to congressman, your mayor, your council member. Like, look at our mayor taking away money from the veterans budget. We need that in New York State. We need that in New York City. What's sad to see how many veterans are homeless still?
Right.
Homeless out in the streets, sleeping on park benches in the subway.
Mhm.
That's a
I've seen
shame.
it. I've seen it in my little town. There was a guy sleeping, and I could just tell, but you know what I mean. You know the look. You know the look.
The
And
PTSD, the TBIs, they're
he
gone
was sleep.
mentally.
He young looking guy too. He was
Yeah.
sleeping in the um. God dang it! Sometimes my head doesn't come out with
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
he
It's
It's,
he
very
he
I'm,
sad.
he, he was
I'm happy
sleeping
with
in a
what I'm
building.
doing
Yeah.
to help veterans, but I just want to educate everyone,
Hmm.
educate civilians on how to address someone that
Hmm.
served and how to support. And I'm here to support you, Tommy. Tommy, you need help. Any veterans of yours need help with their claims or anything like that, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes.
We have
Yeah.
to support one another.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you're bilingual too,
Oh,
because
yes, yo hablo mucho
that's
español.
a major, yeah, that's a major sticking point, you know.
And another thing I find to be messed up, a lot of service members go in undocumented and are promised to get their residency, and then when they finish their term, they get deported. I'm trying to help veterans that are deported as well. Well, that'll be soon, but
Yeah, that's so.
that'll be in the future thing. Yes, a lot
Yeah,
of veterans
I almost said
serve,
effed up.
deployed, serve this nation with a promise to get documented, and they don't get
We
they get deported. There's um one of the veterans that we're helping provide services for. He was deployed. He got married, and his wife had custody of her brother, and he was deployed, and his wife had to call him screaming, ICE is in my house, about to take me. They didn't take her because she's legally married to a service member, but they took her family member. Can you believe this?
We
Wow.
We have
one
to
of the
also deal with ICE as veterans as well.
mhm.
Deportation. Civilians don't know this. This is not being broadcasted. How is it that someone's defending this nation? You're promising them to stay here legally, and then once they serve, you deport them.
I actually I rendered honors to a Marine. You know, when they were evacuating Afghanistan a couple years back, there's a Mexican guy and his family. Um, he was killed. I actually saw his commander, who was a captain at
Oh,
the time. He was one of the 13 that was killed with a suicide bomb, and he every one of those Marines he knew, and there was one Army staff sergeant. He talked about each one of them, this commander, and he was one of them. I actually rendered honors, you know, for this Marine who's from a little town, city, Logansport, south of here, and his family, they took up an offering for his family, and his mother was from Mexico. She did not understand what the big deal was, why people were giving her so much attention.
oh my
You know,
goodness.
that was a big deal, and I'll guarantee you they're still here.
The Gold Star families.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she didn't understand why it was such a big deal, you know, that he was killed in combat. You know, but I just watched that. He was a major. If I could find it, I'd send it to you. He did a wonderful job talking about everyone who was killed or wounded out of his unit,
Yeah.
and this guy was one of them.
It's
And yeah, it was a big deal here.
right. But the thing is that this discussion was so healthy and so good because everything that you guys spoke about is a good conversation whereby we can learn more. And Rosie, you provided families, you provided veterans and women of themselves, you know, if they the lockbox you spoke about, and the initiatives and all the outreach that you spoke about, and the traumas, you know, that people can reach out to you for help if they're thinking about what do I do, you know, I might be having some thoughts, but there is hope. And what you provide
Yes.
today is hope and optimism that it doesn't have to be the way that you might be thinking. Reach out to someone trusted source. Reach out to you and you can connect. Thank you for also offering help to Tom.
Of
Tom, thank,
course.
Tom, thank you for the participation in this conversation. You
Um,
know,
I just think I was useful as a mirror
hmm
because I can agree with everything she said. I saw it when I was active duty. I saw it when I got out. You know,
yeah,
and I was there when they were first integrating women into units, you know,
right,
everything.
right,
And like I said, they used them for convoy escort and combat. You know, they were on the front lines. And even Vietnam, they had, you know, medics, you know, and nurses that went, you know, that was hell that the
right,
nurses went through. And they weren't, quite frankly, they weren't safe, a lot of them.
right. Rosie, you served us. Thank you, Tom. Rosie, you served us well. You expanded our toolbox. You helped us to understand your journey from where you started, where you are right now, and all the great things that are yet to come in the future because there is help that is so much needed out there. And you help us to understand that there is so much hope that you might be thinking one way now. Your family, you come back as one sentence you said, I can't help you when you're in, but I can help you when you get out. And it's to get out because for one to coming from war, coming from serving and getting acclimated back into society, I totally believe, and as you rightfully explained, there is where the challenge is. How do you cope? Because you have to learn new skills,
Yes,
new
they
coping
teach you how to
mechanisms.
be, I'm sorry, but they teach you how to be a service member, but they don't teach you how to be a civilian again. So your
Right,
mind is still stuck in the service and then you have to regroup and relearn. It takes 12 weeks for basic training plus whatever time to learn your trade to become that service member. But they only give you 1 month to fill out the paperwork to leave the military. They don't, you're not prepared. You're not prepared when you leave the service to be a civilian again. And that's why organizations like yours that take the time out, I am so thankful to educate yourselves as well and to lend an ear and a heart for the cause.
Right. I like when you said thank you. I like when you said say something nice to someone on the road, give them a compliment because you might not know what that person might be going through in that moment. But saying hi, saying hello, how you doing, compliment them. They might be wearing a nice outfit or whatever it may be in that moment because you don't know. Just by that one exchange, you would be saving a life.
For anyone, it doesn't have to even be in the military. It's just anyone you see. Just
Yeah,
say something to brighten up their day.
just brighten up their day. And they all the initiative and all the outreach that you're being that you've shared with us and that you're doing, like courage and calm. That is so super important because you're empowering women how they can cope, how you can be calm, whatever level that you're at, whatever you experience in the moment, the organization or your initiative that you've take on, you helping people to, and we like how you only not only thinking one way just for the doctor, but you incorporating holistic lifestyle, affirmation, meditation, and all this good stuff. You have the breakout rooms so people can have more options that they can
Yes.
get incorporate in their lives so that can anchor them, that can have them center and balance it, that they not only surviving but that they can thrive with so much that they've been through in life. So what's next for Rosie?
Well, next for Rosie is a Courage and Calm event in September in Albany County. Then I'm working on Watertown and Binghamton. And then Empower Her is a business aspect for women that serve. It's where I'll have a photographer, information to have LinkedIn account for women for a year. And then I'll have Dress for Success, a professional photographer to do a headshot, the Department of Labor, municipal or um, municipal banks, credit unions to teach women how to create a portfolio for a business so they can open up their own business. What different bank accounts are catered to women, especially like women with breast cancer, how to have a bank account catered to that. Um, Also, having different organizations to provide information to better yourself, VRNE, Veteran Readiness and Employment, to tell you about what different trainings you can do to better yourself and to find better job opportunities as well. And that's what I call Empower Her, because we're giving you the resources and information to better yourself so you could be more empowered and thrive and meet your goals or aspirations that you may have
That
in a
is so,
professional setting. We need more women. There's
yes.
a lot of women doing leadership roles that are not getting the credit and not getting the title of the leadership roles that they're doing or the pay. Women, we're still at a bias where women get paid less than men, even though we're doing the same job.
Right.
So I'm trying to empower our women so that way they have a better success rate at not struggling, thriving. So that way they don't become homeless. So that way they don't have to struggle. That way they don't have to worry about I can't make it and start having going back to the mental part. I'm
Right.
trying to I'm trying to teach them how to succeed and
Mhm.
move forward and learn coping skills, because not everything's going to be easy, but at least if you learn some coping skills and how to deal with certain obstacles, you can get through it and continue with your path, with your end goal. So that's why I want to do Courage and Calm and then empower you. I want to calm. You had the courage because you went into the military. But now I
Right.
want you to drop all that stress. I want you to drop all the negative impact that you have from the military. Drop it. And I want you to put calm in your heart, calm your mind, calm your soul. And then I want to strengthen you and empower you with empower her. So it's kind of
That
connecting.
is so that is so beautiful. That is that alone, just by you saying that is empowering. Just by you saying that alone is empowering because you focusing on the whole you, the whole you. So you not only touching mentally, you're touching physically, you're touching spiritually, emotionally. You're going through the whole gamut of every single thing. So that's what makes you so special. That's what make you so amazing because you're not only thinking about yourself or your family, but you thinking, how can I help my sisters who serve? How can I even help their family? So you extending, you just expect there's more growth and expansion that you helping one who may be thinking, well, what do I do? There is so much help, and that is what you're doing, dressing for success. You know that they can you help them with their resume, but so you really empowering them in a full level, so you're gearing them to you setting the tone for a future for them so that they can walk, be empowered, be knowing who they are, coming through everything that they've been through. But all is not lost. There is hope, there is optimism, and that is what you're putting them back in them to live their life and they truly deserve and to thrive.
Amen. God is so good.
Thank
I
God
you.
is great.
I
You
was
want to
just
say
going to
something?
say thank you, Rosie, for what you do. I put it in the comments, but thank you for what you do for veterans, and particularly women veterans. I've known about I'm in a couple of 12-step programs, and the women veterans I've known have had a really hard time, particularly the ones from back in my era. And I
Mhm.
think I'll
Yes.
bail out of here. Thank you for having me on here, and thank you for letting me to be kind of a reflection to bounce off and
Yeah, of course.
your experiences. It was great.
Of course, of course. Rosie, you want to give a shout out to the New York City guys, your team, your committee, the commissioner, Naismith,
Yes.
everybody.
I
This
want
is your time. This is your moment. And Dr.
to
Susan.
thank Mama V with New York State Department of Veteran Services, our Reverend Dr. Viviana M. De Cohen. She is an amazing, remarkable commissioner.
Yes,
She
we love her. She's
she
amazing
is
indeed.
down in the trenches with us, and she's amazing. She doesn't let her position stop her from bonding with people. Like she makes you feel loved and nurtured and answered, and she will fight for us. No matter who you are, male or woman, she will fight for you and represent us and make sure that we're good to go. I want to thank my supervisors, Vadim Panasuk, who's taught me so much with claims to help veterans. I want to thank my team. I want to thank everyone who supports us, veterans, men and women. I want to thank you, ladies, for giving me the opportunity to speak with you all today. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for letting me support you all. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you for just being you. I appreciate you all so much. I
Thank
love
you.
you guys. Thank you
We
for my
love you. We love
sisters.
we love you too. Yes, we are sisters. And this meeting would not have happened if Nay, right, did not invite
Yes,
me
Nay.
at the
Thank you,
event. She's
Nay.
amazing. She's our sister too because that is how we got the opportunity to meet you and Dr. Susan as well.
Oh, yes, and Dr. Leslie with New York State Department of Veteran Services. Danae Smalls, girl, congratulations. You're doing great,
Yes,
amazing things at the New York
congratulations
City
to
side.
you.
Thank you, sis, because if I know that you're growing and you have more position and power, that means that you'll be able to speak for us and represent us and get more things done for us women and veterans and whole in general. So keep doing great things, Danae. Keep
Yes, we love you.
introducing us to
Yes,
incredible, amazing people because at the end of the day, we all have the same end goal. Women, veterans, and people, humans in totality. We're here for each other.
yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes. Thank you. We so sorry that Lady K was not able to her technical problem, but it was a great you. I know your energy just came through. It was so powerful. It was a great moment, and you have to come back because we have to do part two, where you're going to talk more deeper about initiative. You're going to do some demonstration. Yes, we love you. We love what you're doing. And we just want to say that thank you. Thank you. You're special. You're truly amazing. And you have such, as you talk about our aura and our light, you've got the light too. You've got the aura too. So we all just keep uplifting each other, help each other to shine their light too, and help the world to be much more better place in a very impactful way. So we just want to thank
Amen.
you. And thank you for everyone who watched us tonight and those who are going to catch us on the replay. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your subscribing. Thank you for everything because we couldn't do this without you. We want to thank 246 Pages Vibe for giving us the opportunity to have this platform. So we would just want to thank everyone and thank you, Tommy T.
Amen. And everybody who listened today, make sure that your friends and family subscribe and follow our girls with empowering her with mind, body, enrichment of the mind, body, and soul. We have to show support. So share this information so that way every time we have a podcast, if today we had 100 people, next week it better be 200. You guys, come on, we have to support. We have to support each other.
Right,
So
right, 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 right.
share their. I shared my link with my daughters. I was like, y'all better log in. So I have to share it with everyone else and subscribe. That's the only way
Thank
we're gonna
you.
get the word out. We have to
Yeah,
broadcast. We have to communicate it. We have to tell people, hey, I'm here for you, but I need you to be here for me. Can you do me a
yeah,
favor? Can you follow me? Can you click on this
yeah,
link right
yeah,
now?
yes,
And
yes.
that's the way how we're gonna do it. So now I know. And now when I go to the office and I see my bets, I'm like, you need to follow this on YouTube immediately, ASAP.
Thank you. We love you, my sister, because thank you for saying that because that's how we help. That's how we impact. That's how we continue to serve the world and help the world to be a much more better place and be more impactful. So we just want to say thank you, and we want to say that you sharing space with us, so just support on us and give us that light so that we can move forward, keep doing what we're doing, and keep serving others as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.